there's some good stuff in there, but definitely the list is not as long as usual. Teams usually by this time of the year also take the time to do some retrospectives and some other work a little bit away from business as usual and doing more administration and maintenance work, taking care of some tech debt and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start sharing the screen, and then I'm gonna try to start recording as well. I'm not sure if I can do that.
I already did, so it's already recorded. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, then I was trying to remember when was the last time that we did a sprint review, and it seems it was back in November. We skipped the last one, and it was right on the platform launch day. However, we don't want to pretend to try to show all what we've done for the last month or so. We try to stick to the usual format of just the last 2 weeks. How can I get rid of this menu here? Just a sec. Yeah, okay. So so briefly, the upcoming release 226, the end of development got moved from actually it was supposed to happen today, but it got moved to next week, Tuesday. Some good reasons for that. We've been facing some issues, so the team needed some extra time to take care of those, and so it's scheduled for next week, Tuesday, and GA release, the stable version, is happening on the 12th of January. So just for you guys to know. Then we will do as usual. I'm not gonna change the format of the meeting, so we will just go from top to bottom, presenting what we have for today. So we will start with some important bugs that got fixed. Some of them were shipped with PMM 225. Some others are ready to be shipped with 226 next week. Nikita, are you in the call?
Yes.
Please go ahead. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. We had a very nice debug in 2.20 for version of PMM. Let me share my screen. Yeah. This bug is on a relevance for AMI. I mean, Amazon Marketplace, channel distribution, and OWA, and isn't relevant for Docker container. We had a very small data disk in AMI. The disk size was on 6 gigabytes available for data, or something like this. We have fixed it back in new version, and also we added test for checking size of data disk for AMI and over images. Also, we added nodes for 2 release nodes for 25 release and 24, I think. About how a user can increase data disk size and even have single line commands for this. It's all from my side. Maybe somebody have a question.
Any questions for Nikita? If not, then I'm gonna hand over next to Nurlan.
Yeah, hi. So there is nothing to show from my side. It's just we had problem with pausing our database clusters, and now it was fixed by Jan. That's all.
Okay, so Nurlan was talking about this ticket 8094. Thank you, Nurlan. Anton, I see you are with us. Do you need to share your screen?
Yes, hello everybody. I can't show nothing also. I can talk about my with bug when user install and after update PMM agent from Turbo script, config files was recreated, and I make flag -u to update it. That is all.
Right, so that one is very straightforward change. Any questions for Anton? Okay, Anton, you can continue talking about the next one, 2415.
About time zones.
Yes.
Also, we have a problem, maybe bug with time zones. We can change it, but it changed not for all time, only for this session. For different users, very important to change time zone. And Grafana have a functional in dashboard. We remove some information about hard-coded information about time zone, and it take from user settings or group settings in Grafana. Oh, sorry, PMM. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Any questions related to this for Anton? If not, then let's go next with Shashank. Shashank, are you on the call? Dennis, I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is Shashank, but this is like the old feature to add the custom parameters. We actually fixed it in a couple of releases before. It was implemented in PMM agent, as this like was a bug from the Dell. It worked for them. What we forgot that time is to add it to pmm-admin. Now with this feature, ability to add the custom base parameter implemented for everyone, so it's easy to use. So this is improvement on how to use custom base pass for the exporters and tools if you have them in the non-standard pass. So you can install them on privileged, not privileged pass, for example, you're not root, and instruct PMM to use this pass for the exporters and other tools with the pmm-admin now. And there is nothing to show as well, I believe, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, sounds like a good improvement. Thank you, Dennis. Any questions or comments? If not, then Tiago, the next one, I guess is something you can show.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Thank you.
you can take over.
So basically, we did some improvements on, we had some tooltips on our TLS field. So in any instance that allows TLS, for example, Postgres, when you add Postgres instance to PMM, you can choose to use TLS. And now you'll see these tooltips that basically explain what the fields mean for people that don't know. For example, this is the trusted certificate authority file used to sign the client certificates. This is the private key file, the content of the private key file, and this is the content of the client certificate file used, signed by one of the trust CAs that we filled above. We also have this information in our documentation. And for example, for Postgres, a link to the official Postgres documentation on how to get this information. And of course, this will depend on your setup. So basically that's it.
Good, thank you, Tiago. And it looks like it's consistent with similar changes we have introduced to other features across PMM, right? When it comes to TLS.
Right. We added the other database types as well.
Okay, good, thank you. Any questions for Tiago? If not, then we're gonna move to some work that we have done on alerting. As you may all know, the server features team has been focused on polishing the alerting feature in PMM to transition the feature from tech preview to GA state. We continue doing so. So some of the changes you see are small changes, or most of the changes we have done are small improvements.
Hold on, sorry, just wanted to make you aware that you are sharing Slack.
Oh, thank you. So just a sec.
Thanks God, there was nothing bad. I mean, there was just me saying, yeah, everything is cool to go, right? Almost. exactly on that topic. So all good.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicola. Okay, so I was talking about alerting. So all changes we've been making as part of this process is just to make the feature more and more stable, but also easier for users to use. So Fabio, I think you can pretty much show all of these three changes.
I can. So the first one is regards the email, the SMTP server. So yeah, before there was no way to check whether or not the settings were fine. So you had to wait for an alert to trigger, and then figure out if something was wrong or not. And so yeah, we added this field here that allows you to test your configuration. So when you hit this, you will get a sample alert. So in this case, I'm using MyLoSor. So this is what you will get in your email, if everything is right, of course. If something is wrong, you'll get an error describing what's missing. So yeah, this is the first one. If there's any doubts about this. Okay, maybe we can jump to the next one, Holman.
Sure, please.
Yeah, so second one, we had just a small bug on the alerts. Just this label here, you see it says silence now, but before it just said toggle. which is not very helpful. So right now it's either activate or silence. So small fix. And the next one is on the Percona platform settings. So right now we had this disclaimer here, the same we have on other places. Now it's also on the Percona platform page. And yeah, so these were the changes that we did.
Yeah, this last one is functionality that we added to PMM with PMM 225, which we released by the day we also launched the platform back on December the 7th. As we all know, this is tech preview, but we didn't state that when we released 225. So this has been added now, and it's going to be part of 226, where we simply display that message that Fabio chose, saying these functionalities in technical preview. Any questions? If not, thank you, Fabio. I'm going to share the right screen, I hope. No? Yeah. Okay. Now on the portal side, we've been working on several different things, but this is the small bug fix that Nicola implemented and we deployed last week. Nicola, if you can showcase this, and maybe you can continue showcasing the other work that is currently in progress.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Okay, this should be the right one. Yeah. So let's start from the minor fix. It was just, well, clicking on this link was opening this page on another tab. It's been fixed. So that was the first one. Now the more serious one, let's say, connect your PMM instance. You connect your PMM to Portal, basically. So we changed this part. Now you can see there's a view instances, which is disabled now because I don't have a connected instance. So let's go ahead and connect an instance. I created this instance, which is not connected right now. So first of all, if you don't know how to connect it, you can click on read more and you will see the instructions, right? How to connect the PMM to Portal. So let's do that. Let's go to settings. I think I have to set the public address here. Let's go here. Let's, I don't know, name it my PMM server, my account. I think it was. Okay. Okay, success. Now I can go here and I can refresh the page. And you will see that now I can click on view instances. And this is the list of instances that I have, PMM instances that I have connected to my Portal account, basically. You see the name that we set, the internal server ID, and a link to it, which is right now, I think that I put it with using that button to automatically complete it, to automatically fill it. It has HTTPS, so it won't work directly. I have to change it to HTTP. This is just because we are using internal servers. And that's it. You have your you can see the list of your PMM instances.
Nicola, sorry, when will be this patch out, this fix out?
Soon. We are. I'm in the process. Yeah, I'm trying to fix in CI to fix CI because we are having some issues with tests in CI. But yeah, as soon as I fix that, it should be ready to QA, and after QA, we will be ready to deploy.
Okay, thank you.
As you may know, we don't follow, we don't have releases in platform. So as soon as you know, a ticket passes QA and it's ready to be merged, we can merge it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Nicola?
There was a question in the chat about what is the value, the purpose of the server ID column?
So that we discussed that actually, and we decided just to put there in order to be able to, should we need to debug something, it's easy to see that ID if needed. We'll see if we don't need it, we can remove it. But for now, just you know, for simplicity's sake, just in creating table and you know, if we need something, an ID to debug some possible issues.
Yeah, not the same. Yeah, it's not the same ID, the one that is in the log as well, reporting the log error if you have, or I mean, is the ID that you report here the one that you eventually found in the error log?
I suppose it is. The debug error log. What do you mean, Marco?
If you have any problem on the PMM server and you can see, I don't know, that you know that this ID match the PMM server. Right, and then if you go inside the error log in the PMM server specifically, you know, in the logs, you will see that anything coming from that specific server has that ID.
Yeah, I mean it's in there. We don't log that every line because it's presumed to just be a single server, so you wouldn't find a lot of instances of it. But one of the other things to think about longer term, when we do work towards the customer environment data project, this UUID will be the thing that links all the telemetry data to the customer environment for that particular PMM server. So may not come in handy right this instant, but down the road, particularly to Perconians, it will come in, but also as a troubleshooting tool when customers call in, to have that might save some steps. Yeah, we might change the UI if you know, moving on, and if we decide that it's not, you know, doesn't look good to have it explicitly on the table, but we might find another way of showing it. But for now, I think it's just a good first pass. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So just to provide some more information about the connection of the PMM instances. So what Nicola showed, the connection, the actual connecting action is triggered on the PMM side, but then that triggers a chain of other actions and other processes that happen. The connection between PMM and platform doesn't happen only on the platform on platform or within the platform system. As we use Okta as an identity manager, we also register in Okta the PMM instance as an app that is a valid app, and Okta we use Okta to validate the connected instances to the platform. So I believe this server ID is also stored on the Okta side for this purpose. So yes, I think it is another valid use case to render the ID in the user interface. As Nicola mentioned, we will review this and whether there is any need to display the ID in the first place to the user, or under some, like, I don't know, advanced view of the PMM instances. This is the first iteration. So when we release the platform, we made it already possible for users to connect their PMM instances. but this didn't reflect on portal. There was no way for users to see what PMM instances have been connected. Now this is the first step. The table simply shows the raw data and the basic data. The only action you can see is the link that allows the user to open the PMM instance from within portal. But in the future, we will add more actions so that people can do something.
Yeah, there will be more actions like disconnect, etc. So there will be an action column as we have in other tables. So just wanted to add something else. So as you might have seen, I just logged in this instance using my portal credentials. So right now I'm logged as as myself with my portal user in the PMM instance. All right. So that's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nicola. Now let me see who's next in the list. Okay, on the portal side, Tiago. Let me share the screen. So, yeah.
Damn, I was about to share it. You were faster.
Okay, right. So I'll stop sharing. But yes, there was an update to production performed a couple of weeks ago to allow users to see the organization entitlements, which works, as you can imagine, for existing Percona customers only. The first iteration made the data available, but the user experience was not as good as we wanted it to be. So we iterated over that, and Tiago is gonna show the improved version.
Yes, so as Holman mentioned, I want to show you the entitlements, but first let's take a look at the whole dashboard because I don't think we did in past reviews. Basically for Percona customers and not for basic accounts. So if you see here Percona customer, you will see this contacts widget. If you have a free account, you'll see a different information with generic Percona contacts links. But basically for Percona customers, you'll see your customer success manager, and you can, for example, see their email and click to copy the email, and then you can send your manager an email, or you can click and open a bug, and this will take you to ServiceNow, to Percona Customer Portal, where you can directly open a bug. And also for customers, you'll see a list of tickets that you opened with a lot of information like the status, the priority, and each ticket that you click will take you as well to ServiceNow, where you'll find out more information about the ticket if it has some information. And again, if you have a free account, you won't see this list of tickets. And now going to the entitlements, which is this you see here, you have 4, and when you click that icon, now it opens this bigger model. Previously, it was like a smaller one with all the entitlements that you have, and you can always see the expiry date, so you know when they will expire, even if they are collapsed. Then you see some information like the summary and everything that comes from ServiceNow. You'll see here. If you have a config advisor or not, it will show like this. If you don't have, it shows like this. The support level. So everything is that comes from ServiceNow is going to be shown here. And that's basically it about the entitlements. If you have any question.
Guys, do you have like ServiceNow currently has a feature for support engineers that we can pretend like we are a customer and we see what the customer sees? Our portal is going to have same feature, or we should just create like a kind of account for services teams to pretend like we are fake customer and see what customers see? It's sometimes important, like for example, when you need to show customer how to find some information or where some button is located.
Right, I can answer the question. Thank you, Svieta. So the first iteration will implement something that we call a super admin role, and the super admin role is a role that is going to be given only to certain Percona staff members, which they can use to log into the platform and access or different organizations, multiple organizations, and get to see the data related to each of those organizations. So that's going to be the first step, and impersonation may come next after that. Or we don't have a clear timeline for impersonation. That one would require some bigger effort, but we've been considering that and talking about it. For the time being, the solution has been to create a Percona organization on platform and allow Perconians to log in using the Percona organization to mimic the same experience as a customer. So that's the first step. Yeah, go ahead.
And Jay has a test account in ServiceNow that's set up with all the various entitlements, so that when your Percona account is associated with that test account, that test organization, you'll be able to see what the potential or the possible answers are. It's not mimicking an actual customer, it's not mimicking a real customer, but it lets you see all the permutations of what a customer would see.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's probably would just work.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Can you share where that's documented so that people know how to find out how to do so?
Yeah, that's a good question, Donnie. So this improvement to the entitlements widget that Tiago just presented is not yet available in production. It's going to be available in production by tomorrow, most likely. And together with that, there will be an update to the docs that will reflect that.
Yeah, so, sorry, I mean the fake customer org that Steve just mentioned. Does our support team today understand how to get access to that, or our success team?
Okay, right, yes. So the customer success team has worked closely with IT, with Jay's team, and yes, they are aware of how this works, and they're currently using it.
So let's make sure that the docs, whatever they're using in customer success, gets shared, because support needs similar access somehow.
Yeah. We probably don't have like custom portal release, but once we get it, we need some documentation and we need to find it somewhere.
I'm going to ping Emily while the review is going on, see if I can accelerate that.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Tiago. Next up, okay, Nicola already showed the connected PMM instances. Next one in the list is Zoriana with a feature we're currently working on, but we can simply talk about it and provide you with a quick update because it's not in a state where we can present it, unfortunately. But it is, as you saw Nicola presenting the feature to connect PMM to platform. That works well, but there is not a way for the users currently to disconnect PMM instances. So the team is working on that. We faced an issue in the last couple of days related to some verification of a token that is needed on the requests trigger to the different services, but the solution has been found already, and we're gonna move this forward. So this is going to be available soon. From the user point of view, it's a very simple feature. It will be available on PMM to begin with. So once you connect the instance, there will be a disconnect button that the user can click on anytime to disconnect the PMM from platform. So that's a simple update on that. Then on the core team, there are a few items. Let me just share my screen again. A few items left. Anton, do you want to go next and mention something related to 9306, the upgrade of VictoriaMetrics?
Yes, we have in this ticket we are upgrading VictoriaMetrics from version 1.6.0.0 to 1.7.0.0. But here we have a problem with Go version. Also, we can update it for version 1.17.5 and change very many things in our pipelines. We're working with it. With Nikita.
Right. So this upgrade, there are a lot of changes between those versions. We also plan to relate all of them and see which of them we can use. For example, for stream parsing, there is the new option that will enable stream parsing automatically. And there are a lot of CPU performance improvements. I mean, at least they mentioned changelog. The idea is to upgrade and then start evaluating the performance impact, probably improvements, and other features that we can use from VictoriaMetrics in this update.
Dennis, 169 doesn't require upgrading the version of Go, so maybe we could target that one.
Yeah, we'll see. Now is 171 already out. So while we were upgrading, it's already a new version. So yeah, we will figure this out. If we can do this quickly, I think everyone benefits. I think people discussed in maybe on Go Backend call or somewhere. I know that a couple of people were about that. So we shall see.
Okay,
Thanks,
you.
Info.
The last two items in the list, Anton, the cluster pod summary dashboard.
Yes, here also with changes made by Vadim Yalovets, here construct a dashboard for database. I make very little changes with it and documented. I think that is all. Also,
yeah, there are also we so far integrating them as experimental dashboards, and after evaluation, this goes hands to hands with the work that Nikita did. So we have new experimental dashboard directory that will be incorporated there. And as soon as people will evaluate that those dashboards are good or not for the Kubernetes, we will promote them to the production stage.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Anton. And Carlos, you're the last one in the list.
I'm working on an implementation. It involves changes in MongoDB exporter in PMM itself and pmm-admin to improve data collection, mostly needed for Dell. You need to have more metrics about dbStats and collStats, and we were not letting them collect that information. So we are working in a way to let them to collect information about collStats, indexStats, and so on, but without using too much CPU. Or so we are setting some limits, and we we are allowing users to enable and disable some collectors that that option was planned but not working in MongoDB exporter, and now it's going to be part of PMM.
Any questions related to that for Carlos? If not, then the last two things. So the first one is something that you don't get to see on this list. My bad that I forgot to add it, but I think it's very important to mention. Before, when I only share my Slack screen, there was a conversation there related to some work that we've been doing, and is this item. So the features team and mainly our team and Basil have been working closely with our tech leads on a very good effort to make available a set of checks on platform. So our team, do you want to mention the outcome of all of that?
Yeah. We made several small improvements. First one, we changed the YAML formatter that used to format actual check files, other templates, STT checks, all the stuff that is YAML files actually. After that change, formatting will respect some non-critical format styles, and also it will keep comments. So you can add some comments like whatever comments. Also, we pinned a mini sign version, a tool that we use to sign all that stuff that we deliver to the customers. Before it was just apt install from repos. Right now we pinned a version that we used originally because they changed default cipher in the last versions, and we are not ready to migrate to this new cipher. And we will migrate later, somewhere in the future. And to do that, we also updated our signature verification function to support this new cipher, but I'm not sure where we can upgrade minisign. It depends on PMM support period, so it's a long-term goal. And another stuff, it's also not visible, but we unwind alert template and alert through entities. So now if you created some alert rule from some template, you can actually delete this template. Alert rule will work as before, and also we modified alert rule copy functionality. You can even copy this functionality even if there is no such template at all. We introduced this change because user can actually upload custom alert rule templates from the files, and then he can drop this file, and before it will break all related rules. So also important change, but there is nothing on UI to show actually. And probably that's all.
Artyom, I think it was to mention that old rules will be dropped.
Yeah. In PMM 2.26, we have migration that drops all existing alert rules from PMM database. Unfortunately, there is no way to migrate it smoothly. So until we have this dev preview stage, we can do that. And so we should do that now. There is no way. That's because alert rule templates loaded after PMM server starts, and we apply migrations on I would say it's first step when PMM server starts. So that's why. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Artem. Thank you, Vasil. Any questions related to these? So very soon it seems the all checks contributed by the professional service team is going to be integrated and available to users. So that's good news. One last thing maybe worth mentioning now that our team talk about alerting. So another effort we made recently was to gain a better understanding of Grafana alert that has been released with Grafana 8.0. So it's a revamped version of the alert feature in Grafana, and it has an impact on our alerting feature. So we started digging deep into the details, and we simply want to understand the scope of the feature and the different functionality that it brings. So the team spent some time looking into that, and we had a meeting where Artem shared his findings. So now we're all more aware of what's coming, and we need to start translating that into actions and realize what exactly that means for us and our alerting feature. Last item in the list is a blog post. So as a reminder, we've got a community website, as you can see here, and Dennis has contributed a blog post to describe how people can make use of Minikube when developing and testing PMM. Dennis, do you wanna?
Right, it's mostly for developers, like how to hack different containers. I used it I did it for pg-stat monitor when I needed some containers, both for testers. So I built one and I tested it myself. I also used this approach for the presentation I did for the conference I did here for pg-stat monitor in Germany. So I just put everything in written form how I did it. So in my mind, the YAML, like Kubernetes manifests a really nice interface, right? And it's really flexible how you can define them, etc. And as I usually hack around the DBaaS, I use Minikube. I was like, okay, let me why I need to run other tools, right? I mean, I do run Podman often, but to run some kind of different clusters, many databases, I would like to use one tool, and Minikube use Podman underneath in my case, or Docker underneath, so it could spin VMs if it needs to. And really nice tools. I advise everyone to explore it. Easy to use, and it works with Kubernetes manifest, right? So you work with Kubernetes manifest all the time instead of. I don't like Docker compose files because in my horrible experience with them, they change the API too often. And one options work in one way, later they do not work. At least it was in past. I'm old dude, so I still have those scars of using the Docker compose. And Minikube manifest, you can reuse them in Kubernetes, and then they are much more flexible. They have tons of options. There Kubernetes podcast link over there. In the end, I advise everyone listen to the Kubernetes podcast and listen to this podcast. Overall, they have quite really good news and guests. Yeah, if you have any questions about that for development, come to me. and ask them.
Great job. Good stuff, Dennis. Thank you very much. This is also a reminder for everybody, developers or members of other teams, that we have this space, the community blog, in case you do something fun with a tool or whatever, and you want to contribute and document something, then this is something to consider. Then I think this is it for today. At least we went through the entire list. Roma, I see you're on the call. Do you want to mention something, to some closing words, or?
Hi guys. Now, sorry, I was on my way, so was only listening. But yeah, I think majority of stuff is covered. So thanks.
Okay, super. Any final comments, questions from anybody? If not, then thank you very much, and I wish everybody a very happy Christmas week. See you around.